is happening.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Robert. Nice to see you, Charlie and Simon. And keeping this as succinct as possible, I thought it would be helpful. A lot of people who are really paying attention now to the truth, so-called truther and disclosure movement, by virtue of the fact that the status quo has become so insane, just so weird and spooky and bizarre. With those great many people now finally drawing their attention toward anything other than the official narrative, I wanted to give them a little gift here, because Simon's really clever, Charlie's clever, you're clever, and I'm quite clever in my way, and I don't think that's necessarily conducive to people who are new to this. So I just want to speak to the layman for 3 minutes, and I want to tell you something that happened in history 61 years ago. This was Khrushchev, who was effectively the commander-in-chief, the president of Russia, the Soviet Union. Now, Khrushchev predicted something in 1959 on September the 29th, and I'm just going to read his entire quote. I asked my 91-year-old grandmother this morning, I said, do you remember in 1959 when Khrushchev gave his famous, seminal, landmark speech to the West, which was broadcast on that crackly black and white film where you got a shoe and he banged the shoe on? And she said, oh yes, I remember that. That was seminal. Now, what he said, and this, folks, was 1959, 29th of September, was, your children's children will live under communism. You Americans are so gullible. No, you won't accept communism outright, but we'll keep feeding you small doses of socialism until you finally wake up and find you already have communism. We will not have to fight you. We will so weaken your economy until you will fall like overripe fruit into our hands. The democracy will cease to exist when you take away from those who are willing to work and give to those who would not. All right? He said this. Democracy will cease to exist when you take away from those who are willing to work and give to those who will not. Remember, socialism leads to communism. So how do you create a socialistic state? These are the 8 levels of control. 1, healthcare. Control healthcare and you control the people. I give you COVID, corona, blah, blah. 2, poverty. Increase the poverty level as high as possible. People are easier to control and will not fight back if you're providing everything for them. That's the socialist program of the nanny state. 3, debt. Increase the debt to an unsustainable level. That way you're able to increase taxes, and this will produce more poverty. 4, gun control. Remove the ability to defend themselves from the government. That way you're able to create a police state. 5, welfare. Take control of every aspect, food, housing, income, of the people's lives, because that makes them fully dependent on the government. 6, education. Take control of what people read and listen to, and take control of what children in particular learn in school. 7, religion. Remove the belief in God from the government and schools, because the people need to believe in only the government knowing what is best for them. 8, class warfare. Divide the people into the wealthy and the poor. Eliminate the middle class. This will cause more discontent, and it will be easier to tax the wealthy with the support of the poor. And that was 61 years ago. And I think for the layman, that gives them a perfect backdrop to what's led to this insanity of the last year.